First graders, chapter 5 and chapter 6 coming at you. One thing I did realize is that the video editor that I've been using, it crops the videos after I upload them. So you may have noticed that the last video, you couldn't see like the top half of my head. So I backed up a little bit from the camera. Hopefully that helps. I hope you guys are doing okay. Today is Wednesday. We're over a week now. We've been at home, not at school. Pretty wild. I hope you guys are doing good. It's raining today. I found snow this morning. Yuck. Especially since with all this, I like to be outside more. But hey, my kids suited up. They put on their jackets. They didn't let that stop them, so that's cool. Here we go. Chapter 5. How the Cookie Crumbles. Mila led us to a tiny row of stores on Waverly Avenue. We stopped about 10 feet from Huck's Hardware. Joey pointed to the ground beside a row of hedges. "We found the purse right there," he told her. I knelt down with my handy-dandy magnifying glass. The dirt was still wet from last night's rain. When I stood up, my knees were muddy. Kind of like today, right? Mom wasn't going to like that. But hey, what are knees for anyways? Ooh, picture. Coming at you. It rained hard last night, Mila noted, but the satin purse was pretty dry. No bad water stains. The owner must have dropped the purse this morning. Makes sense to me, I agreed. Let's look at that list again. Ralphie read over my shoulder. He noted, I bet the corner store sells tape, cards, candles, and wrapping paper. But what about the cake? I asked. That's the important item on this list. Look at the writing, all capital letters. 3 exclamation points. Picture. Then look at the other items on the list. Candles, card, wrapping paper, tape. I bet my baseball cap, it's somebody's birthday. Where can you get a cake around here? Mila asked. Joey and Ralphie grinned happily. Grandma's Bakery! They chimed. Ching ching, bells jingle jangled when we opened the front door. Grandma's Bakery was cool and airy, and it smelled like a slice of heaven. 2 teenage girls stood behind a counter filled with pastries. The tall girl smiled, flashing big white teeth. The other girl was short and grim. She looked like she just swallowed a sour ball. I noticed that her hair was a spiky mess. It was possibly the worst haircut I'd ever seen. And I'd seen a few in my time, sometimes on top of my own head. I asked the tall girl if anyone had picked up a birthday cake this morning. Why should we tell you? The bad haircut girl snapped. I'm working on a case, I explained. I'm a detective. I handed her a business card. The bad haircut girl sneered. Yeah, right. You don't look like detectives to me. Oh, just ignore Brenda, the tall girl remarked. She pulled out a thick black book filled with the day's receipts. We sold 4 cakes this morning, she informed us, leafing through the pages. Let's see. A man came in and bought 2 chocolate cream pies. Then an older woman, Miss Alessi, picked up a strawberry shortcake. Yum, Joey moaned. I love strawberry shortcake. So do I. And the other cake? I prodded. The tall girl thought. Yes, here it is. Mrs. Maloney bought a birthday cake for her son, Charlie. I remember the name because I did the lettering myself. Picture? Charlie Maloney, Mila exclaimed. That's Biggs, of course. His birthday party is tomorrow afternoon. His mom must have dropped the purse this morning when she picked up the cake. I thanked the nice girl behind the counter, grunted at the mean one, and copied down the phone number from the receipt. Then I slid a quarter into the payphone and pushed buttons. 15 minutes later, Mrs. Maloney rushed into the store. She had a toddler at her feet and another one in her arms. What a racket! Carrying around a screaming police siren might have been quieter and drier. The kids looked like identical twins, probably because they were. I'd met them before at Big Maloney's house, Larry and Harry. Poor Mrs. Maloney looked about as calm as a Siamese cat at a dog show. She was not the type to drop a purse and not notice. Picture. You see it? Jigsaw! She exclaimed when she saw us. Thank you so much for calling. What an honest young man. Don't thank me, I said. It was these two. You know, Joey Pignato and Ralphie Jordan. They're the heroes who found your purse. Mrs. Maloney smiled at them. Suddenly, she noticed Mila for the first time. Oh, hello, Mila. I guess we'll be seeing you at the party tomorrow, too? Mila smiled. Yep, we'll all be there. Biggs invited everyone from Mrs. Gleason's class, even the girls. Just then, one of the twins spouted a leak or something. A puddle formed on the floor. On cue, the twin in Mrs. Maloney's arms started to wail, wah, wah. Oh, for crying out loud, groaned Mrs. Maloney. What a day. Still, I'm so grateful for you children. How could I possibly thank you? Picture. Joey offered a suggestion, and like most of Joey's ideas, it involved food. 2 minutes later, Mrs. Maloney drove off in her car. Mila and I made sure the coin purse was safely tucked into her pocketbook. Joey, Ralphie, Mila, and I went outside and sat under an old willow tree. The grass was nice and dry beneath it. Each of us bit into our very own black and white cookie. Awesome, Joey exclaimed. And he was right. It was our reward. Thanks to Mrs. Maloney. We all chewed happily, in silence, enjoying every bite. Because that's the way the black and white cookie crumbles. It pays to be honest. And that's something that guys like Bobby and Solofsky would never understand. Happily eating under the tree, I thought my detective work was done for the weekend. But I didn't realize that another case awaited us. It involved a dinosaur, a birthday party, and a magic trick that went very, very wrong. I was wondering when we were going to get to that part because that's the title of the book, The Case of the Disappearing Dinosaur. Okay, well, we're about halfway through the book, and now we're starting to learn about this. Interesting. Chapter 6. Go, Regs, go. I'm assuming that's their dog. Look at right above the chapter. So Regs might be a dog, maybe not. I don't know. Looking at the clue, I think it is. Mila and I have been sending secret messages to each other since dinosaurs ruled the earth. Okay, maybe not that long. But it has been a while. Codes are the best way for detectives to talk to each other. And it's fun, too. Besides, like my favorite baseball team, the New York Mets, we needed the practice. After doing the dishes that night, I went into my bedroom with my trusty dog, Regs. Aha. I figure Regs liked to think that he was helping on a case in some way. Or maybe he just liked sleeping on my soft, thick rug. I decided to try an IPPY code. It was simple. All you had to do was add the letters IP after every consonant in each word. The word dog becomes Dipogip, and Biggs becomes Bipigibisip. Okay, that's hard to say. I wrote, I Bipo Gifip Big Bibikibisip a Dipiniposipperip Pippa Zip Zip Lip Whip Hip Hatid Dip 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 Yippu Gipetip Hip Imip. You're wondering, what is Mr. President doing right now? Is he all right? Look what I had just had to read. Yeah. Now, No one could read it except for Mila. She already knew about IPPY codes. You guys better not start doing that in class. To decode it, all Mila had to do was cross out all the IP letters. Oh, okay. I called Mila on the phone. Don't talk, I warned. Enemies may be listening. Just stand by your front door, wave a doggy snack, and call Regs. Got it? Mila coughed 3 times. That was our signal. She understood. I hung up the phone and taped the message inside Reg's collar. Okay, Regsy, I said. Time to do your stuff. Mila lived down the block and Regs knew the way by heart, or I guess by nose. I opened the front door and whispered to Regs, "Go, boy! Go find Mila." Picture. Story's getting interesting. Regs looked at me, wondering why I wasn't coming with him. Why was he standing outside? Why was his nose always wet and cold? Regs! Regs! I got a treat for you! Milo's voice threaded through the distance. Regs' keen ears lifted. He suddenly understood the meaning of life. It was all about food, glorious food. Off he raced, chasing the promise of doggy snacks. Hungry as a sumo wrestler at a free buffet. Picture? I like Regs already. Simple. He likes food, like me. Good old Regs, sure. Maybe Shaggy had Scooby-Doo. Maybe that guy on Blue's Clues had Blue. But I had my own flea-bitten hairball to help with my detective work. Regs! A detective's best friend. Okay, that was chapter 6. I just read chapter 5 and chapter 6. Let's see how many chapters are left. So we have chapter 7. Chapter 8. There's probably an index that I could look at, but I'm just going to look through here this way. Chapter 9. Chapter 10. That's a short one. Chapter 11. I think chapter 11 might be the last one. Ooh, yeah, chapter 11 is the last chapter, okay? More chapters coming this week. I'm going to try to finish this book before the weekend, okay? Thanks for tuning in. I hope you guys are rocking it in Clever. I see, excuse me, about 10 kids have logged into Clever. It actually shows me who's in Clever live. So it'll have your name, and it'll be blue if you're on Clever. Yesterday, I counted 10 students in Clever. That's out of 18 students, so that's over half the class was rocking our digital tools like RazKids, MobyMax. If you haven't had a chance to check out Dreambox, ask your parents permission if they can sign you up with an email because it is awesome. Every kid that I've talked to about Dreambox likes it more than MobyMax, and it has a lot of games. So it's free for 90 days because of what's going on in the world. They made it free. So as long as you sign up before the end of March, you got 90 days to play it. I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for listening.